y'all. So today I'm going to show you how to do a different type of slider. Actually, I'm going to do two different types. We're going to do a Reuben slider, and we're going to do just a regular ham and Swiss. I've done all different types. My family loves them. So this is just kind of our version. There's several recipes out there that's very similar, but this one's kind of a little bit different because my husband doesn't like all the onions and stuff like that. And I accidentally picked up the wrong rolls for one set of sliders. So these are just regular yeast rolls from Walmart's bakery. And so we're going to use the regular ones on the Reuben because Reuben's got a lot of sauce and stuff like that, and maybe I can disguise the fact that these are not Hawaiian rolls. Alright, so what I'm doing now is oh, and you can use Hawaiian rolls by the Hawaiian, I think it's King's Hawaiian brand. You can use that, but they didn't have any at the store when I went. And in case y'all haven't noticed, our Walmart's terrible. But they also, usually they'll have Sara Lee brand, but they didn't have that either. So I had to go with what was in the bakery, which luckily they had it, thank God. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to split your rolls. So you need the bottom part of the bun. Put it in your pan that you're going to use. Normally these 9x13 glass pans are perfect. Okay, and then what I typically do is I start with my cheese and I do a double layer. So this is Swiss. Alright, now at my store, my Walmart store, most of the time I cannot find corned beef lunch meat for a Reuben. You can use corned beef, or you can use pastrami, because they're very similar. And you could probably use the roast beef, but it's not going to be the same because you're going for like a pickled taste. So pastrami is usually there. I used Hillshire Farm brand pastrami. And so what I'm going to do is, this is one slice that I'm laying out, and I'm following basically the same pattern I did with the cheese. So I just got the 7-ounce container, and it's definitely barely going to be enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest of the pastrami and I'm going to layer it too. So we're going to do the whole 7-ounce container. Okay, so I got all the pastrami laid out. I used the whole container. I was probably a slice or two short, but that's okay. Now you go back over it with, so you continue with your Swiss cheese. And you can use any cheese. You don't have to use Swiss, but I believe that's what they put on Reubens. So I try to stick to it best I can. But I've used provolone, and I've also used pepper jack slices. And it is easier to use the cheese that's already sliced up versus the block cheese where you have to cut it or the shredded. Okay. So sauerkraut. That way you can kind of control how much is going on there. And we just get the cheap one. My husband, this is his favorite, so he loves Reubens. So it doesn't really matter to him. He definitely didn't like the German. I think there's German that's got the caraway seeds in it. He hates that, but I do is I just put a little bit. You don't want to go too crazy with the Thousand Island in this container. It's got like a really big spout on it, so just kind of just a little here and there, here and there, here and there. And go ahead and put your tops on. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to start the next. Alright, so this next one, I was going to do ham and Swiss, but I'm running out of Swiss, so we're probably going to have to do pepper jack. So let me get those out. Get those cut. So this time, I just got Great Value lunch meat. Usually I get deli. Just trying to save a little bit of money. Of course, I couldn't do that with the pastrami because the pastrami, you know, I can't get it in a generic brand. So, you could probably cut these the size you needed, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to roll it up and start layering. So I'm gonna roll these up, and this is just the regular cooked ham, but you could do any type. It doesn't matter. If you overlap, you should be able to get enough meat to cover all the bread. But you're definitely gonna have to overlap. And there's no like science to this. It's just try to keep everything straight as you can, but if you go off a little, it's fine. I promise you it's going to be fine. Now this is already like a double layer of meat, so I probably won't, you know, put a second layer or anything like that. Okay, so now take this knife that I have, wipe it off that we use for the bread. Okay. And then I'm going to start cutting. Try to do it as thin as you can if you're going to use the block cheese. You know me, I use what's on hand. And you will have to, like I said, overlap just a little bit so that it gets on all of the pieces, all the sandwiches. Okay. Let me check to see if I have any Dijon mustard that I can put on this. I wasn't planning on it. Yeah, I got a little bit. Okay. Let's see if I can. Alright. So, that's pretty much set. We'll put the tops back on. Now, it's been my experience. We put some Dijon mustard on this. We do it on the outside of the pan. Which, I don't know. Let me, you know what? Let's put it on the inside. We just need just a little bit. Because I don't want it. It's so overwhelming as it is. Okay. So overwhelming as it is. It's not going to come out. Hang on just 1 second. Let me get a knife. Okay. This is literally the last little bit that's in here. And I don't want too much. So I'm going to kind of spread it with my finger, trying to get it to, because if I spread too hard with this knife, it is going to mess up everything that we just did. So we're going to kind of just do a little bitty bit. I knew that I had a little bit, and I didn't want to buy any more, because we don't use it that much. We just use it for this, actually, and any kind of recipes I have that need it. Okay, that's gonna work. Just a little bit. I don't know why we mushed it, I just do. So let's see. So the next thing is that you need to melt some butter and put on top. And get it ready for the oven. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Okay, so this is our Reubens. They're ready to put in the oven. Now, what you need to do, the best thing that you need to do in the very beginning is line the pan with foil, because you're going to put butter over top of these, and that's going to burn. And you don't want your sandwiches to burn. So, dummy me forgot. So, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put my melted butter over. And then I'm just gonna have to watch it really, really good to make sure it don't burn. Now, one thing I want to tell you is a lot of recipes for sliders require a whole stick of butter. I made this once or twice and realized that was not gonna work for us. It was too much butter. So, now, I only do a half a stick. Put these in there, and I'm covering the top so it don't burn, but I can't do anything about the bottom because I forgot to line the pan. You put it on a 350-degree oven and you watch it, and what you're watching for is you want them to be really good and hot and your cheese melted. So remember that's what you're looking for. I'll take them out and show you in a minute what they look like. In the meantime, I'm going to melt some more butter and put on the ham ones and do the exact same thing that I just did. So I'll show you when they come out what they look like. Okay, so we took the ham sliders out, and this is what they look like. And then what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to go through and cut before you take them out, because if not, they're gonna, you're gonna dismantle them. So that's what I did. Already did some. And actually, to be honest with you, the block cheese seemed like it melted better and did way better than the other. So I may have to switch. It's the first time I ever did that I can remember. And I actually did pretty good. Okay, so you be really, really careful with them when you take them out. I don't know, the spatula may be too big. Maybe the fork, yeah. And take them out. And Let's see if I can find a perfect one so you can see. Oh, that one's not perfect. Okay, let's see. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the melted cheese. That's it. And I threw some fries in the deep fryer, and that's what we're gonna have with it. Y'all have a good day, and be sure to like and subscribe. See you later.